Welcome back to Southpaw Picks, and you're here for the recap of Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. What a fight card to come back after 4 long weeks of no UFC action. And, we're going to start from the main event. 5-round war. Kattar comes back after being off for a year, after going through a life-changing beatdown by the hands of one of the greatest featherweight fighters we've ever seen in the UFC. And seeing Kattar tonight in his zone, the chin absolutely refreshed, took some shots from Giga and just marched forward. The class of striker Giga Chikadze is, the way people have crumbled to some of the strikes, and Kattar was able to walk through so many and make him think about other things as far as striking, mixing it up with the grappling. We saw Kattar show a lot of knowledge on the mat, as far as taking his back and body triangle. It was very interesting to see that layer of Kattar that we haven't seen before. But that wasn't the story of the night. The story of the night was Kattar pushing out the jab and just putting the pressure on Giga, keeping him on the back foot, and just eventually just breaking him as the rounds went on with the elbows. Man, Giga is a tough cat, but we saw today what maybe we were being blind to. Maybe I was being blind to. Just writing Kattar off after that performance. And I'm a believer. I picked Max Holloway against him, but this is a real moment where we get to realize just how great of a fighter Max Holloway is, and the level he's at versus the next guy, right? I mean, Kattar just walked through a guy in Giga Chikadze, was on a 7-fight win streak in the UFC, right? Looking amazing. And, didn't have to do anything too spectacular, just consistent pressure, walking him down, and basically taking everything Giga had. So, what's next for these guys? Kattar wins by unanimous decision. I guess we give Kattar Ortega, right? I think that's fair. I think we give Kattar Ortega, or maybe Josh Emmett, or sorry, we give Giga Josh Emmett coming back. He won't be here anytime soon, but maybe we give Kattar to Brian Ortega, have a nice fight night main event, or co-main event. And moving down along the card here, the co-main, I said going in, this is a heavyweight slop fest. It's probably going to be close. Alongside with me picking Giga, and I picked Sherman as well. And even though we finished the card with predictions 6 right, 4 wrong, 6 out of 10, that's a 60% clip. I do want to say that I hope 60% is the lowest I go, and I continue to give you guys 70% picks and 80% picks on these cards. But 60%, I'm not going to complain. The free parlay that was handed out on Friday does not hit, but I'll show you some of the other plays that I made tonight that was successful for me. So, Jake Collier went out there and pretty much beat up Chase Sherman, right? They were throwing hands. It looked a little, 50-50 early on, but, Jake started to really land on the chin, and Chase Sherman just slowed down and gave up, like we've seen in the last few fights, right? This is out of his 3 losses in a row. This is a finish, to a former middleweight. But you saw over the course of those fights him just trending in a downward direction, and I think that might be Chase Sherman's last fight. Maybe they throw him to Chris Barnett going forward, but Jake Collier made light work of Chase Sherman, and he got a $50K bonus. So big bonus for Jake Collier, finding his home in the heavyweight division. Very impressive, I would say, or unimpressive for Chase Sherman. Moving on down, we have Brandon Royval, who won a split decision against Rogerio Bontorin. Now, this is part of a 2-leg parlay I had on that night, featuring Brandon Royval and Caitlyn Chu Kagan. Put 2 units on it to win 3 units. So it was a great parlay for me. Although very sketchy decision, and I was on the Royval side. I won. I won this play here, but you're gonna have good bounces. You're gonna have bad bounces in this game, and over the course of the year, we might win some of these close decisions. We might lose some of these close decisions. The fight was competitive. I was saying Rogerio Bontorin, has the strength advantage. I was saying that he could beat Royval in some of these grappling exchanges, but Brandon Royval was able to do what he does and what we love him for, right? Non-stop pace, non-stop scrambling, consistent pressure on the opponents. And in the third round, you saw Rogerio was starting to completely break. And I was saying to my buddy who was watching along with this fight with me, and I was saying, all we need here is to hope that 2 of the judges gave Royval the first round, because that was a close round. And then when you look at everything else, 2 for Bontorin, 3 for Royval, and we end up scraping by and we get that win. But shouts to Brandon Royval. Hope for nothing but the best for him, and I hope we can get him a top 5 opponent, because he's a special fighter and he's must-watch TV. Moving on down, Caitlyn Chu Kagan. This fight went exactly how we expected, right? Caitlyn Chu Kagan did throw a wrinkle in with the grappling. Jennifer Maia, I'm sure she did not expect Caitlyn was going to mix it up with the takedowns. And I'm sure she thought that if there would be any grappling going on, she would be the one implementing them. And that shows you the growth. They fought 2 years ago, and you're thinking, well, where are they at this point? Caitlyn just showed you there's new layers to the game. I don't just have to stand out here and strike you from the outside. I can take you to the ground. She shows why she's one of the top flyweights in the UFC. And she continues to cash tickets. Caitlyn Chu Kagan by decision. Now, I didn't take her by decision, and shame on me for it. We just parlayed the 2 money lines, Brandon Royval and Caitlyn Chu Kagan. And if you guys haven't seen already, I'm sure I'll post it on the screen here of that 2-team parlay. Moving on down, Slavakaz, Borshev. Dakota Bush started out that round looking sporadic, landing on Borshev, threatening him with the takedowns. Borshev fought out of all those positions and rips a nasty body shot. And I see they have it down here, TKO liver shot. That's what it looked like. It looked like he punched the liver from the left-hand side to the right-hand side of the body. Borshev is such a treat to watch, and I'm very happy that, we get to see him win here, right? Competition level, 8-4 Dakota Bush, 7-0 Chris Duncan prior to this. But, Borshev is 6-1, so he's fighting his competition level, and he's blowing them out of the water right now. This is 2 back-to-back knockouts. This guy's pretty nice. We got to look forward to him. 155. We got a nice little contender here, a nice kickboxer in Borshev. He's got the hands, man. That was a nasty body shot. And I don't know how many guys, poor Dakota Bush, but I don't know how many guys really take that shot. That was clean. Moving on down, here's a fight that I picked wrong here. Joe Anderson, Brito. He fought the way I expected, actually. He implemented the same game plan. Bill Algeo just really put on that veteran performance there and beat him to a lot of the spots. Pretty much, it seemed like Bill Algeo was used to that type of prototype of fighter, and he basically tamed him. He tamed him. Joe Anderson, I'm not going to give up on him necessarily. I think he could have been a bit of the UFC jitters, the game plan not going according to plan, but Bill Algeo did great, man. Beat him to the positions, kept it moving, didn't stay stagnant, and he won a decision. Didn't really overwhelm me with his performance to say that Bill Algeo just looked shockingly better. He looked like he was just able to stay defensively sound and get off his offense and win a decision. So Brito definitely need more experience in being a minute winner against a type of guy like Bill Algeo. So he'll drop to 12-3, and we'll see what's up for Brito next. Still an exciting fighter. Now this fight coming up here, Jamie Pickett versus Joseph Holmes. Now earlier in the post weigh-in show and the breakdown, I let you guys know that this is something I don't want to be a part of, right? Joseph Holmes, very green. I thought the competition level for him was, very weak. But Jamie Pickett too, not the best fighter. You can see he has the physical attributes. He's a great athlete, but definitely not the most skilled fighter. And I figured I'd have a no bet on this card, but a fight prior to this, pushed me to just go for it and pull the trigger here on Jamie Pickett, and I did pull the trigger on Jamie Pickett. Right before the bout, went off, Joseph Holmes closed at like a minus 188. So I was able to get Jamie Pickett at plus 162, a number that I hadn't seen all week. And I figured, man, I'm going to pull the trigger. I put 3.5 units on it. I really felt inside, prior to a matchup that happened before this, that, you know what, I should really lean into the idea of the experienced fighter here and not just put so much weight on people that need to prove it to you. So I went with Jamie Pickett, and it was a close fight. It was sloppy. Joseph Holmes started to really slow down towards the end of the fight, and you could just see the experience wore on him. The preparedness of Jamie Pickett to fight 15 minutes. It wore on Joseph Holmes. I'm pretty sure he took this fight on short notice, and it showed. Really started to slow down, and Jamie Pickett wins in a unanimous decision, and we cash. I'll post that slip also here. We wagered 3.5 units to win 6 units. At that point in the night, we were just rolling. Successful night as far as units go. Court McGee versus Ramiz Brahimaj was the match prior to the Pickett match, and I got a good lesson in as far as not necessarily doubting the experienced fighter despite the age, right? I was really expecting Court McGee to show his age here, and he didn't. He looked, in a weird way, he looked like the younger, fresher, hungrier fighter in this matchup, and Ramiz showed me a lot as far as the instruction Safe Saud was giving him, his responsiveness to it, the fact that we've seen him here now in 2 out of his 3 fights, really start to just not pull the trigger and freeze up in there. Now, it was at my expense, right? It was at the expense of the viewers here, because I did give out that free parlay, and Brahimaj was a part of it, and I did believe in that pick. But Court McGee showed up and told you the old dog is still here to fight, and he showed a great performance. I really doubted him. Definitely the more experienced fighter. Definitely been in there with a lot of killers, but I was really expecting the decline to show here. You're fighting a 39-year-old in Claudio Silva. You're going up against a young, hungry, improving fighter. So I thought, being an improving fighter. But you know what? I've always had a little bit of weariness when picking Fortis MMA, to be honest with you. And I went away from that today. Not my favorite gym as far as the product they put out there. And you've seen it in some of these mixed results. But moving on, congratulations to Court McGee. He really showed how much of a dog he is in there and broke the younger fighter in Ramiz. And prior to that, we had Brian Keller versus Kevin Croom. Kevin Croom stepping in on short notice. And, early on, Brian Kelleher was trying to find the range and get in, and Kevin Croom was doing a good job keeping him at range, using the length. It was causing Kelleher a bit of issue at the beginning of the fight, but as the time rolled on and the rounds went by, Kelleher started to really find his shots. Kevin Croom started to really slow down, and Kelleher started to just dominate the latter half of the rounds and winning a unanimous decision. Not too much to say there. It was a great fight, like a lot of these fights on the card, despite only 2 finishes. And I gotta say, Brian Keller continues to show you he's a nifty veteran. I was on Kakhramonov in this spot and looking to bet him here, but Brian Kelleher really showed up. So it's interesting to see how that fight may have played out. And first fight of the night, we rolled at T.J. Brown here, and he was probably one of the most sketchiest plays I've had, despite him being a minus 250 favorite. I've seen him in instances gas out, make poor fight decisions, and this fight started out very similar, just exposing that lead leg to get kicked out by Rosa, who's not even someone who hunts calf kicks, but even he, in the 3 days he's picked up this fight, was able to know that that's a weakness of TJ Brown. So going forward, as much as he got this fight done and out wrestled Charles Rosa, which we've seen from Charles Rosa, as much as I was a little nervous at this play, I've seen this game plan implemented on Rosa now repetitively. He really struggles with these guys that continue to push the takedowns, likes to play off his back, but he's still a tough guy. He's going to hang in there. He's not going to get finished. And TJ Brown started to really slow down despite a guy who had an 8-week camp. But we do pick that fight right. And like I said, we finished the night 6-4 in predictions. We go 60%. Still a great start for the week. We're going to continue on. Want to be higher than 60%, but 60% is not bad at all, right? But big takeaways out of here. I mean, Calvin Kattar's still a dog. Royval is still exciting. Caitlyn Chu Kagan still one of the top flyweights, and everybody else to be determined, right? No big takeaways from this card as far as Brian Kelleher just showing you veteran savvy, Court McGee showing you that veteran toughness, And going forward, we need to, me, to lean into a lot more of the heart aspect in fighters. Sometimes the talent's there. Sometimes the matchups are there. But really, it is a lot to do with the fight you have. And tonight, I thought a lot of the fighters won based on toughness tonight. I think that was the story of the night. Toughness. And what a phenomenal card. I mean, 4 weeks out, I thought it was great. Great main event. Can't wait to actually rewatch it when I get the opportunity. And we get a chance to look forward to next week. The heavyweight title's on the line. The flyweight title's on the line. We get Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane, and Figgy Smalls versus Brandon Moreno. And tons of other fights in that card. So look out for that breakdown. Should be coming up shortly in the next few days. Thank you for watching Southpaw Picks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And look out for more content, man. I'm going to be pushing as much content as possible and getting these picks and plays out. So we start week 1 going 60%. We're going to keep that momentum and keep rolling it throughout the year. And like I said, thanks for watching Southpaw Picks. Catch you later.